Hi, everybody. My name is Nick Fong. I'm from TBN Asia. Today, I'm joined by Vanessa Velasco. Did I get the pronunciation right? Uh,
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
the founder of
Hello.
VerraCoffee in Philippines. Um, Hello, Vanessa, and how are you doing this morning?
Hi, Nick. Yeah, everything's great. So it's a rainy morning here in Manila, but it's a
Rainy.
nice rainy morning.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
rain.
rainy morning, perfect time for coffee, I suppose.
Yeah, I have my cup now.
Good, good. Let's jump right in. Perhaps you can start by
Okay.
introducing yourself, your organization, and then give us an insight into a little bit of Vera Coffee's mission and purpose. Over to you.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Vanessa. So, I'm the founder of VerraCoffee. VerraCoffee is actually, well, coffee. It's a coffee company. So, we get coffee beans from farmers all over the Philippines. So,
Okay.
from North to South Philippines. So, we have mostly farming communities, smallholder farmers, and also indigenous farmers. So, that's where I get the beans. And then I package and promote those beans and then sell it to the international markets. So we have distributors in Japan, Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand, and also in the US.
Mm,
So we're actually trying to get those the coffee beans. I mean the products of the farmers to an international market
mm,
because the Philippines is actually a producer of coffee, but it's not yet in the coffee map. When I check
mm,
the coffee belt, okay, the Philippines is part of the coffee belt, but it's not really there.
mm.
They don't label it. But we have really great coffee, and it's part of our mission to help the farmers here in the Philippines, especially the tribal farmers,
Ah,
because like they have it's part of their livelihood, so we would want to help them, and it's part like they already are experts in roasting coffee and producing coffee, so we'd like to actually introduce it to the
mm.
international market outside the
Right.
Philippines.
Wow. So is that part of because I think on your website it says coffee with a vision. Is that part of what that means? Coffee with a vision?
Yeah, we say coffee with a vision because first of all, we want to preserve the heritage of Philippine coffee because
Uh-huh.
it's getting rare. Philippine coffee, it's like there's low production, and we want to encourage other people to actually start coffee farming.
Mm,
And also, it would be actually part of the livelihood of the tribal people because they have
mm.
land here in the Philippines, so they have
Right.
ancestral domains. So
Uh-huh.
we can help them plant coffee, and it's also part of we actually part of our profits go to tribal children for their
Mm,
education. So
mm,
if we earn profits, so part of it we donate to uh, to a scholarship fund for tribal children so that
mm.
they will have a brighter future. And also it's part of our succession planning because you know they're tribes and then they're also part of the community. So at least maybe one of them would take on that legacy of actually being also a coffee farmer.
Ah, nice. Following the footsteps of their family or their relatives. I'm assuming,
Yes.
yeah, right. Yeah, the farmer.
Mm.
I was just going to say, was there any impact, with the COVID and pandemic, and was there any impact to this thing, this, yeah, what you were doing? Mm.
Oh, actually, the company started during the pandemic. It was
Ah,
in yeah, it was in 2020.
okay.
So um before the pandemic, we were doing some projects with a nonprofit organization. So I went around the country and then that's when I met some of the farmers and also some small food producers. And then the pandemic struck, so the project came to a halt. It wasn't continued. But then it was clear to me, like God was telling me, like, go, just continue this project because even outside of that organization. And
Mm,
then there were open doors for me.
mm,
I met a farmer, the Barako farmer. So Barako is actually the flagship bean of the Philippines. So I met this Barako farmer, and then I met another farmer also online. I was introduced to another farmer up north in the
mm-hmm,
Cordilleras. Then
mm-hmm,
suddenly I started meeting a lot of coffee farmers. So I said, wow, okay, these are open doors. So might as well get their beans and then I tasted all of them to check if the beans were of high quality, and I said, "Oh, this can be actually exported. It will be, it will make good in the international market." So I just repackaged the beans and then started promoting it. So that's what happened. It's actually, yeah, it was born during the pandemic.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then okay, so born during the pandemic. Now that
Mhm.
we are kind of like coming to the tail end of the pandemic and everything is a little bit opening up, do you see challenges for what you're trying to do? Does it help that what's looking ahead for you guys?
Yeah, after the pandemic, so things started opening up. Like during the pandemic, we just did I did a tasting in New York because
Wow,
I had a
okay.
contact with the Philippine government, the embassy there. So I asked them, "Hey, do you want to have like a coffee tasting with cafe owners and restaurant owners who are Filipinos in New York?" So we did that via Zoom.
Mm,
That was during the pandemic. Now that things are starting to open up, so I also got a request for tasting in Tokyo, and this
mm,
time it was in person.
mm,
So I flew to Tokyo, and then a lot of doors opened for me in Tokyo. And then now, so I also get requests from the government to just go to this fair and go to that fair. So of course, some of them would mean that uh, it's fully funded, but some I will have to shell out some of my, I have to
mm,
invest. So it's part of an investment.
mm.
So I guess the challenge is on the marketing side because I need to go there in person, and then
Okay.
um, my market is actually international. So
Mm,
actually yeah, so it's a good thing that I was able to go to Tokyo because of a grant that I received from one of the US partners. But
mm-hmm,
right now, so of course we have to invest in marketing. So I guess
mm,
that's a challenge is
mm-hmm,
like, okay, going to this place and going to that
mm,
place and actually the funding of going there. So yeah, that's the challenge right
mm,
now. And penetrating an international market is kind of different from
mm.
penetrating a local market because the culture is different. So I
Yeah.
need to actually understand the coffee culture in Japan, which is different from the coffee culture in Malaysia and
Mm,
also different from the coffee culture in the US. So
yeah.
those are the challenges now.
Yeah. So you're mentioning, I guess marketing, trying to go international. I mean,
Mhm.
you said mentioning. I mean, you said about understanding the culture. I'm sure
Mhm.
there could be even there could be packaging requirements that you got to figure out even for the markets, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
I think looks like I think marketing support and marketing funds seems to be also very important. But what sort of other support would you be also looking for as you're trying to expand your footprint?
So yeah, I think one of the support, like I would need some advisors because right now I know the requirements here in the Philippines. So the requirements, like in Japan, they have a different set of requirements
Mm,
in exporting the beans. And then I realized in Malaysia they would require like halal or other certifications. So there, it's more of like it's something that I would want because my experience is actually limited. It would be good if actually I know like someone from Japan who knows everything about the market or someone from
mm,
Malaysia. So those things. And also since I'm more of a marketing person, so I need someone who can actually advise me on organizational structure or
wow,
operations
wow.
or finances, things like that. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's
yeah.
good to know. And
Mhm.
it's good that we capture that in this kind of little chat so that I think people who are watching or people who watch it at a later time will also get a sense and
Mhm.
maybe put up their hand and say, "Oh,
Great.
look, I can help here." Yeah.
That's
So
great.
yeah,
Thank you.
where can people follow what's going on with Vera Coffee in your socials? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have a website, so that's VerraCoffee.com, and
Hmm.
also Facebook and Instagram. So just
Okay.
Facebook.com VerraCoffee and
Okay.
Instagram.com VerraCoffee. So those are the social media channels that they can look at.
Cool. Cool. Thanks. I mean, again, Vanessa, I know this is short, but I think it was just so nice to be able to just catch up and just hear a little bit about the Coffee story. And while we may not run into each other in the upcoming conference, I'm sure we will cross paths again sometime in the future. But thanks again for your time. Thanks for making time so early in the morning to just have this chat.
Thank you, Nick. So yeah, I hope that we can catch up like even in person, if not during this week, during the event in Bali this week, maybe sometime in the future.
For
So
sure,
thank you.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Vanessa,
Okay.
for your time. See
Okay.
ya.
Thanks, Nick. Okay.